Later Vedic Age. The later Vedic period refers to the period extending roughly from 1000 BCE to 600 BCE. During this period, the Aryans moved from the region of Punjab to the Ganga Valley and gradually occupied the whole of northern India. The use of iron helped to clear dense forests of the region. Most of our knowledge about the later Vedic age is from the literature composed during this period, which include the three later Vedas, the Samved, the Yajurved and the Atharva Ved. The Brahmanas, the Aryankas, the Upanishads and the two great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Political life. During this period, the Aryans spread in almost every direction. They reached the eastern parts including modern Bihar and Bengal. They entered Deccan by crossing the Vindhyas. Some of the chieftains set up kingdoms. The Kurus occupied Delhi and the area called Kurukshetra. Kosala, Awadh, Kashi, Videha, North Bihar, Magad, South Bihar, Anga, southeastern Bihar and Vidarbh, Berar were some of the other important kingdoms. Gurukul system of education. A lot of importance was given to education by the Aryans. Gurus imparted education in their homes or ashramas, called Gurukuls. At the age of 7, the boys were sent to the Gurukul. They lived with their guru in the ashrama and studied various branches of knowledge. Education centered round Vedic literature and was imparted orally. The students, while in the ashrama, lived on the alms and donations from the society. The relationships between the guru and the pupil was most sacred. Economic life. Agriculture remained the chief occupation of the people. In addition to barley, wheat was also cultivated. The use of plowshare helped to grow more crops. New arts and crafts evolved. There were carpenters, weavers, leather workers, jewelers, potters, etc. Position of king. By now, with the establishment of large kingdoms, the king's power had increased. They had made themselves absolute rulers and were considered as the representatives of God on earth. The Sabha and Samiti, their power to check the king. As the kingdoms became large, the administrative machinery also expanded. The new officials included the charioteer, treasurer, collector of taxes, superintendent, etc. Local governors were also appointed to manage the vast kingdoms. The kings began to maintain a regular army. Regular wars were fought by the king for the defense and expansion of his territories. Social life. Rigid caste system. In the later Vedic age, the caste system became rigid and hereditary, by birth, rather than occupation to decide a caste. The Brahmanas had a high position in the society. They were learned men, well versed in religious affairs. They were administrators and advisors in the king's court. They retained their position as scholars and priests and were generously rewarded with grants of gifts. The Kshatriyas formed the warrior class. They were the defenders of the kingdom. The chieftains and king mainly came from this class. They were the privileged class. They did not pay any taxes. The Vaishyas constituted the common people, originally farmers. The artisans and tradesmen were mainly derived from this caste. The Shudras formed the fourth group. They were considered inferior to other three castes and were duty-bound to serve them. Family and position of women. The power of the male head of the family increased. Women lost their position of importance in social and religious ceremonies. They no longer participated in the Sabha and Samiti meetings. However, their presence was essential in religious ceremonies. Women of the upper classes continued to receive education, but in general, they were treated inferior to men. Four stages of life. The Aryans led a disciplined life. The average span of a man's life was 100 years. It was divided into four stages or ashramas. These were Brahmacharya, studenthood, Grihast, family life, Vanaprasth, retirement to the forest to meditate, and Sannyas, total renunciation. Religious life and culture. In the later Vedic age, Prajapati, Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer, became the most powerful gods. Goddesses like Kali and Parvati came into existence. There was a change in the mode of worship. In the early Vedic period, worship consisted of recitation of prayers and simple offering of food, etc. This now gave way to elaborate rituals and sacrifices. Religious worship became very complex. The later Vedic period believed in karma, which means that a person's position in this life is determined by his actions in previous life. According to this belief, a human being continues to be reborn in this world until he attains moksha or freedom from rebirth. The common people developed faith in spirits, charms, spells, and witchcraft. People would use these to ward off an evil spirit or to cure a disease, or to secure victory over a rival, or to destroy an enemy. Later Vedic literature. The Aryans composed the Samved, which contains melodious verses, the Atharva Ved, which has hymns related to ward off evils like illness, defeat, and other such things through rites and rituals. The Yajur Ved, which not only has hymns but also rituals which have to accompany the recitation of hymns. The Brahmanas, which are the text attached to Vedas, they explain the social and religious aspects of rituals. The Aryankas, which is a storehouse of the philosophical thinking of rishis who generally meditated in the forests. 6 Shastras or 6 schools of Hindu philosophy also developed during the period. The Upanishads were composed in this period. They stressed on the importance of right belief and knowledge. They emphasized the need for understanding the true relationship of Atma or self with Brahma or the Supreme God. Sanskrit became the language of learning. The two great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, were composed during this period. They depict the life and culture, civilization and value system of the later Vedic age. The Mahabharata incorporated the Bhagavad Gita, which contains the essence of Hindu religious philosophy. It lays special emphasis on the performance of duty without caring for the fruits of action. The impact of Aryan civilization. The Vedic age ended around 600 BCE, but they have left a great impact. They gave to India Sanskrit language, its grammar, phonetics, and derivations. Sanskrit remained the unifying force in the subcontinent for centuries together. It also served as the mother of many vernacular and regional languages. It is because of the Aryans only that India is predominantly an agrarian economy. The Aryans, with the help of iron, cleared the forests and gave an agricultural base to India. The philosophy of the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the ideals set forth by the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata are the foundation of present-day Hindu religion and life. The gods of later Vedic age like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are worshipped even today. Yajnas are an important part of Hindu ceremonies. Bhagavad Gita is a source of inspiration for people even today. This is how Vedic age has inspired the present day life and society. Fact: the oldest Veda is the Rig Veda, a collection of more than 1000 hymns composed in Sanskrit. Fact: the Aryans introduced the caste system headed by the educated Brahmin priests who ruled the country. The Kshatriyas were warriors and the Vaishyas were traders and farmers. The darker skinned native Dravidians were servants